Hello, it is Tuesday, April 18th, 2023. I'm Chris Bremo, and welcome back to the New York Times Crossword Daily Solve. It's a Tuesday puzzle today, which means we are solving what should be a relatively approachable themed crossword. It's another debut today, in fact. And this debut-themed edition of the Daily Solve has been brought to us by Noah Besenson, Jake Rodkin, Overfull Hitbox, and, as always, the invaluable Timothy Mark and the indomitable Shillmaster. So thank you so much to the five of them, benefactors of the Daily Solve Patreon campaign, for their generous support. They, along with everybody else who's a patron of the channel, is keeping this whole thing going, so thank you if you are a patron, if you've chosen to help contribute. And if you'd like to do so, you can head over to patreon.com/dailysolve or click the link in the description field underneath the video. If you do that as a benefactor, you, of course, can get the Daily Solve Let's Check the Crosses mug, and as a patron at any level, you can get access to all of the bonus videos that have gone up on the channel to date, as well as the new ones that go up each week. Thank you again to everybody who has done that. And please do also subscribe to the YouTube channel if you've not gotten around to it, and you can join the Daily Solve Discord chat server. There's a link in the description field underneath the video to that as well. All right, let's get on to today's puzzle. This is, as I mentioned, a debut puzzle, so the first construction by Kieran Pandy, and it was edited, as always, by Will Shorts. So let's start solving and see what this debut constructor has in store for us today. What sort of theme is going on? The earth before God separated light from darkness, according to the Bible. Not sure. Night or something? I'm not sure what this is looking for exactly. Spiced tea. It could be chai. Locale for Jack and Jill. The hill, I suppose. The hill up which they went. Indigo plant. Is this going to be very, very obvious when I see it? Probably. Oh, was the earth chaos before light separated from darkness, maybe? Indigo plant. Is it anil? That seems plausible. Is so sick is ill. There we go. Like the deities Vishnu and Brahma are Hindu. All right, good. This is all working out. Keats' specialty is the ode, the official poetic form of the New York Times crossword, of course, the ode. All right. Face off in a 2004 science fiction film. Is it Alien versus Predator, I bet? Yeah, it looks like it is. So, and that's also the name of the film. So let's look down at the revealer. We've been doing this recently. Let's do it again today. Command that could be given to the title characters in 17, 26, and 45 across. And I just saw this face off in a 1979 courtroom drama film. Is that Kramer versus Kramer? So what is the command that could be given to them? I don't know. That doesn't mean anything to me. I don't know. Not sure what it's asking for. Sorry. We'll keep going. Like some shriveled tomatoes. Sun-dried tomatoes are often shriveled. Well, not often. They're, I guess, always shriveled. Hey, you. Could be a sort of attention-getting, just kind of that sort of sound. Hiking locale in Switzerland. Could be an Alp, one of the mountain range, the Alps. Neither's partner could be nor, neither this nor that. And vouches for the truth of. Vouches for the truth of. Supports or speaks for? Does that work? No. Speaks to? I can speak to that. I can vouch for the truth of that. That could be the answer. I'm not certain. Let's check the crosses. Gives a terrible review. Yes, you could pan a film, for instance. Give it a terrible review. Street sign near school. It doesn't look like slop, does it? It looks more like, I was going to say stop, but that would ruin our Alp answer, so indeed it would be slow. There we go. So swears to, vouches for the truth of something, swears to it. That sounds better. All right, good. Condition that exists on a spectrum. I feel like this is on the tip of my tongue and I can't call the word to mind, which is infuriating. We'll keep looking. Daw's counterpart in Morse code. I think that's dit and da, I think, are how you characterize the sounds in Morse code. And lab glass could be a vial into which you could mix some sort of I don't know, chemical compound or something. 23 across says see 44 across, and 44 says with 23 across, period that began in January 2009. The Obama era, probably. Often in U.S. In the U.S., you refer to different eras by the president, so that could be the answer. And Poet Pound, Ezra Pound is a poet, so there we go. Sky blue could be azure, and open wide is to gape, maybe? To open your mouth wide. Missouri's Ozark Mountains, certainly seen those referenced. And then Face Off in a 2021 monster film, Godzilla versus someone, I guess. I don't know. I've actually never seen, Godzilla, that was a strange mistype. Okay, that's the Italian-American pronunciation of Godzilla. Face Off in a 2021 monster film. Godzilla versus, King Kong, maybe. I've actually never, I don't know that I've ever seen a Godzilla film or a King Kong film, actually, strangely enough. Not even the originals of either one. In any case, I think this is indeed the film. So, all right, so we had Alien versus Predator, Godzilla versus Kong, and Kramer versus Kramer. They're all films, and they all have title characters as referenced in the revealer. I'm not sure I'm very curious to see what this is going to be. Okay, well, let's see. What next? This statement is false, e.g. That is a paradox, because saying this statement is false itself sort of is intrinsically self-contradictory. Artist Albrecht of the German Renaissance. Dürer? Albrecht Dürer, that looks familiar to me. And yes, before in poetry is ere. So a poetic way to say before. Could happen in an ode by Keats, for instance. All right, opulence could be luxury. And Chekhov's Uncle Vanya is a play by Anton Chekhov. Utility organization created in FDR's New Deal. I think this is the TVA, the Tennessee Valley Authority, I think. Green movement. Green movement. Question mark. So some kind of pun going on here. Not exactly sure what that is. Let's keep looking around. Kicks out. You could evict somebody, maybe. Kick them out of their home. So green movement. Oh, a putt. A putt on a golf green. I see. So a movement of the, I don't know, I guess the club and ball on the green. All right. There we go. Good thing to keep when trying something new. An open mind is a good thing to keep when trying something new. That's true. And a selection of a textbook could be a unit in a school curriculum or something. An enthusiast could be a fan of a particular, artist or hobby or something. And some office plants are often ferns, I suppose, because they're sort of easy to maintain. Showy basket is a dunk. Oh, I see, a basket in basketball. So, dunk is sort of, I suppose, showy in a way because it's very dramatic in appearance. Oh, really? That's so, you could ask? Oh, really? Flatbread from India could be roti, showing up often recently in the crossword. Singer Tori Amos is a singer, and a wavy do, is it an afro? Describe an afro as wavy, per se. Is there something else this could be? Yeah, it is something else. Okay. Because hip-hop subgenre pioneered by Gucci Mane is not tra, I don't think, but rather likely to be trap. And then where the heart is in a saying is home. So home is where the heart is. That's what I almost said. And then wavy do, perm, right, permanent. Okay, a perm is a wavy hairdo, permanent. Okay. An autism that exists on a spectrum. This is, in fact, the word I was trying to think of and yet for some reason couldn't. So there we go. Have I looked at all of the crosses here? I think I have, so we can move on. Now I'm mad. Is it grr, maybe? The brackets here indicate a nonverbal sound of some kind. So instead of a word meaning now I'm mad, we're going to put in sort of a sound you'd make. In this case, gur, but it might not be gur. But this is correct. Google Ngram Viewer, tool for charting word frequency over time. So Ngram. And I wonder if this is a play. I mean, I've seen this Google phrase, Google Ngram Viewer. I wonder if this is a play on the word engram, E-N-G-R-A-M, which has to do with memory, which would sort of make sense with charting word frequency over time. But I don't know. Maybe that's a coincidence. It's probably intentional. Anyway, filth could be grime, and a caboose could be one's rear, as your caboose, rear end, obviously for the rear car of a train. And then inner circle could be your coterie, maybe. And website that says shop by category, I guess eBay must. I mean, I would think many websites have something similar to that, but in this case, it's eBay. Razed, as in a building, would be tore down the building. And some amount, maybe this isn't right. Some amount. A few? Doesn't seem quite right either. Oh, torn down, maybe. Raised, right. It could be torn down or torn down, depending on the construction of the sentence. So some amount could be any. Yes, okay. We had some amount, we had any. And then Singer Perry, Katy Perry, I've certainly heard of. And benchmark abbreviation could be a standard. A standard is a benchmark against which things are compared. Flu is soar or flu? Why do I not see that? Let's see. What about over here? Fly could be aviate. And then we had flew over there, and we don't know what that is yet. All right. In the sense that a pilot is an aviator, and then a comma, colon, or apostrophe is a mark, maybe? Punctuation mark, I suppose. That seems fair enough. State as fact is to affirm something to be true. And one of Adam's sons. I assume this means in Genesis of the Bible, I suppose similarly here to Chaos, the same book as Chaos. Let's see. Abel, Cain and Abel, of course, are his two famous sons. First two, I guess. And then, let's see. Oh, right, this is our revealer. Command that could be given to the title characters in these answers. Break it up, you two? Okay. Why is that? Is there some other pun going on here? Break it up, you two. Alien versus Predator, Godzilla versus Kong, Kramer versus Kramer. I guess it's just that they're all two title characters in a movie title who are suggested by this versus construction as being in a fight. So I think that's all that's going on there. Let me know if I'm missing something punny about the phrase "break it up, you two" that sort of relates even more to what's going on here. But I think that's basically what it is. All right, let's keep going. German woman's title is Frau. There we go. And suffix with October, you could have Oktoberfest. And then, like Iran, vis-a-vis Iraq, East. Fair enough. And Renaissance instrument could be a lute, indeed, commonly associated with Renaissance music. Contacted on Twitter or Instagram informally. You DM'd someone. You contacted them on Twitter or Instagram. And ground control to Major Tom from the great song Space Oddity by David Bowie. Consumption of something could be the use of it. And, if you flew, you sped, so you metaphorically flew. And what grows on Pinocchio? Pinocchio's nose grows when he lies, of course, famously. Exercise as influence is to wield influence. And if you're full of the latest, you're what, newsy, maybe? Not sure about that. 180-degree turn informally. Well, yeah, that could be a U-E, a U-turn. And then crock-pot dish could be a stew. I think a crock-pot is sort of a slow cooker, so that would make sense for a stew. And birds that symbolize wisdom are owls, even though I don't think they're actually thought to be particularly intelligent. But of course, culturally, they have that association. To cry out loud is to sob. And the main section of a letter could be the body of a letter, so after the salutation, for instance. And then full of the latest is indeed newsy after that. So is that the puzzle? It is. There we go. I do think this was slightly tougher than yesterday's puzzle. There was just a few more. There was some more specific knowledge maybe in this puzzle. So I think it was a bit of a step up from the Monday difficulty. Let me know if you agree, though. Always curious to know. It looks like there's almost sort of an S spelled out in the middle of the grid. That's probably not intentional. But anyway, here we have our theme. Break it up, you two. An admonishment to the Alien and Predator, Godzilla and Kong, or Kramer and Kramer of these movie titles, who, of course, are in some form of conflict, either physicalized or, I guess, in court with Kramer versus Kramer. And that's that. I think that was the theme. Let me know if I am missing something being implied by it, but I think that's pretty much, that sums it up. Just a nice film, a nice clue, a nice theme from the world of film. And there we have it. That was the Crossword for Tuesday by Karen Pandy. A nice debut. And let me know how you did with it. And then I will quickly read just a couple of clues from yesterday's puzzle. It being a Monday puzzle, there wasn't a huge spate of corrections or comments, but here's one from Nick Hicks, who explains that in both baseball and bowling, you're hitting a target or a target area with a strike. The strike zones are all 10 pins. That's a fair point. So there's the strike zone in baseball, and then, of course, you're striking all the pins in bowling. Fair enough. And then Thor Christensen points out that the different colors of Skittles definitely do taste different. So admittedly, it's been quite a long time since I've had Skittles, and I was questioning whether they really do taste different. Thor observes, indeed they do. However, Brian has an interesting counterpoint, which is, I just dump the whole bag into my mouth. So that's a fair point as well. All right, and that is it for today's video. I'll be back for the Wednesday crossword, of course, midweek, mid-difficulty puzzle. Do join me for that. But until then, please do have an excellent remainder of your Tuesday. Take care.